aka Knitmas, December 1st, day 1. I'm so excited to be doing this again this year. I have not felt this excited about crafting in a long time. I did not have any knitting mojo over the summer, so I did not podcast at all, but my knitting mojo is back, guys, and I have so much to share. So if you haven't already, go back to yesterday's video and check out my intro to Vlogmas / Knitmas, and just take a look to see what is in store for you guys this month. I'm super excited about it all. But for today, we're focusing on the finished objects. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Before I jump into these though, I did want to talk a little bit about what I'm wearing because I know I'm going to get questions. So this is my Tecumseh sweater that I knit this year, and it does have a little bit of a weird fit in the arms, but I absolutely love it. It's perfect for layering over camis and t-shirts. It's a worsted / DK weight yarn, so it's nice and cozy, comfy for those snowy days like today. And the pink is fuchsia, which is made by Suburban Stitcher, which was gifted to me a couple years ago by my wonderful friend. And the black, the grayish tonal black, is a colorway that I dyed up on my when I used to dye yarn. I don't dye anymore if you're new here. And the white is just some bare yarn. So anyway, I really enjoyed this knit, and I would highly recommend it. One thing that I'm not going to get too much into it, but I do highly recommend, if you've never tried color work, to try it with a thicker yarn first over fingering weight yarn, because it kind of is easier to see the stitches, and it's also kind of forces you to slow down a little bit if you're a fast knitter like me, so it helps you with your tension throughout the sweater. But anyway, I absolutely love it. I'm super happy with it. I love the 3/4 length sleeves because long sleeves get in the way when I knit, and I highly recommend that you check it out. If you're a new knitter, do not be intimidated by this. A new colorwork knitter, a new sweater knitter, it's a very well thought out and simple pattern to knit. So I am going to jump into finished objects. So today I have 3 shawls, a pair of socks, and 2 blankets to show you guys. So one of the shawls you guys have seen before. This shawl is the Outlander Mystery Knit Along, and you'll have to go back to my previous video to see what year it's from. But I did make it using Lorna's laces in the Cragnadoon colorway, I believe. And basically the reason why I'm showing it today is because last time I showed it, I did not properly block it. So I got some proper blocking mats and I properly blocked it so you can, the lace really opened up and you can really get the full effect of the shawl. I love the way that it stripes. It's more of a scarf. It's very long and thin. But anyway, I just thought I would show it again to show the difference between what a proper set of blocking mats and pins can do for you. If you're interested in learning about the tools that I use, including the blocking mats, the type of pins, things like that, then please tune in throughout this month of December, because I will be doing a video showing you all my favorite knitting things, including the tools that I like to use. So there is that. The next shawl that I finished was my whip jar project, and it is another Outlander Mystery Knit Along by Unraveled Designs. And I say it's mystery, but I casted these on during Christmas years ago. So I finally pulled them out of my whip jar and finished them. So this one is really fun because it has like some tartany lines in it. Again, this is Lorna's Laces yarn. I don't recall the colorways. I know that one of them, I think the bluish gray is like Standing Stones. But honestly, I don't think the colorway names really matter anymore because I bought this so long ago from Jimmy Bean's Wool that I do not think that they still have make these colorways. So anyway, it was a very fun knit. It was very fast. It was a 2 skein project and I really enjoyed knitting it. And honestly, this is gonna make a lovely Christmas gift for one of my family members who loves this color combination. So I'm very excited to have that done, especially because I have so many whip jar projects left. I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty on them, but I have not worked anything new because I have been casting on all new things and finishing all new things. But at the end of this video, I will pull down my whip jar and we will pull a new whip jar project. And I probably won't get much on it done in the month of December, but it is something that I hope to pick up again in January and start working through some of my languishing whips. Speaking of whips, another fun video I'm going to be putting together this month is an updated parade of whips. When I first started podcasting, I did a parade of whips and I showed all of my languishing all of my older projects that I had on the needles. A lot of those projects I finished just by doing the whip jar, but I still do have some in there. So I want to do a fun little video where I show you some of the projects that I casted on years ago, and it just basically take a trip down memory lane, have a laugh about the fact that some of these projects have like this much done on them, and then just kind of re-energize myself and get excited about the whip jar again. So the next finished object that I have is a pair of socks. This was one of my languishing whips, and it is out of the bomb.com colorway. And this is a colorway that I first dyed up when I first started dyeing yarn, which again, I no longer dye yarn anymore. And these are full-length socks, and I use the Mina Phillip. I believe these are the gravel socks. This is from her Beyond Vanilla Socks Part 2. So I had a lot of fun knitting these, and I think they turned out wonderfully. I don't really knit full-length socks for myself anymore. I mistakenly made a pair of shorties for my husband last year, and they were too small for him, and I put them on my feet and they fit perfectly and I fell in love with them. So I mostly knit shorties now, but every once in a while I find a skein of yarn and I'm like, that needs to be some pattern socks, and I go and find a pattern and I knit it up, and that's what I did with these. So these are on my Knitting Left Christmas knit blockers, which again I'll talk more about in my videos throughout the rest of December when I talk about my favorite tools. And I had a lot of fun knitting these, so there's that. My next finished object is huge. So for 2020, I decided I'm gonna knit what I want, when I want, and I'm gonna have no apologies for it. And Stephen West did a mystery knit along, and I decided to take part. So this is called the Slip Extravaganza Shawl, and I purchased this yarn from him as a kit from him. The yarn that I used for this, I have some leftover bits, and this is by Urban Hand Dyed Yarn, Urban Pearl. It's the Urban Pearl, and this colorway is Cersei, which I think is a Game of Thrones reference, or a Greek mythology reference, whichever way you look at it. This one is called Hot Gossip. Clearly, it's one of my favorite colors. This one is called Cerebrum. So these are the colors and the yarn that I used. And here it is. So this was a lot of fun. It's a massive, massive shawl. It's super hard for me to fit in frame, but lucky for you, I did take some finished objects photos. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was a challenge, but I love his shawls. I always learn something new. It always challenges myself. And his patterns are just really fun to do, and there's a sense of community when knitting them because so many people hate to love his shawls, and it's just a fun knit along that he does every year. Now, because 2020 has been so difficult, he is doing another knit along starting December 26th, which I just bought yarn for today. And he is giving, it is not a mystery knit along. So the day the pattern is released, you will see the full shawl. And he has two options. One is going to be a crescent shawl, and the other is going to be a triangular shawl. So you can pick which one you want to do, or you can be like me and do both. So I am really looking forward to that. So I only have 6 finished objects for about 4 months, but 2 of those finished objects are absolutely massive, and I'm super excited to show them. So the first finished object, I'm not going to unfold it, but I do have some finished object photos for you that I will insert. But it is my Cozy Memories blanket. This blanket is huge. I did not measure it, but it is massive, and I have been working on it for over 5 years, so it was quite the accomplishment to finish this beauty. So I have my blanket divided into 2 halves. I do 20 squares across the bottom, and I did, I think, 25 or 26 rows height-wise. So it is a big blanket. The way that I picked out squares for my blanket is on the first 10 squares of my blanket, I use only yarn that I had used in other projects. And the other side of the other 10 squares of my blanket on the other side was yarn that was either gifted to me or mini skein sets that I had purchased, swapless swaps, things like that. So it's really fun to look back at some of these squares. This happens to be yarn that I used in projects, and it's fun to look back and kind of remember some of the projects I've knit. A lot of these knits were gifted. These are socks for my stepdad. A lot of them are socks. This is socks for my friend Krista. So it's fun to just look back at these projects and just kind of remember what you knit, who you gifted them to. And I just really love it. It's comfy cozy. My husband loves it. He's actually stolen it from me. So you will see in my whip video that I have already started another Cozy Memories blanket. The next blanket that I finished was started and finished since the last time I podcasted. And it is my Happy Scrappy blanket. So there is a pattern on Ravelry called Happy Scrappy Blanket, and I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Lisa, is the designer. All you do is hold 2 strands of fingering weight together. I chose to use Knit Pick Stroll in the ash colorway along with a magic knot ball. So these scraps were all the little scraps, everything from 30 grams of yarn down to a yard of yarn that I had left over after I added the yarn to my blanket. So every bit of yarn got used up from every project I've ever knit. So this blanket is massive. It's heavy duty, which I love. I've always loved my Cozy Memories blanket, but I really had to double up when I was cuddling up with it because it is knit with fingering weight yarn on a size 2.5 millimeter, and it's not very thick. This blanket, I used a size 7 to knit. I think the pattern calls for a size 8, and it is 2 strands of fingering weight held together, so it is nice and warm and comfy cozy. And so I had so much fun knitting this and seeing all the stripes and how they knit up. And it's fun to finally organize your scraps and have a nice project out of it. So the one thing that I will say is the pattern tells you for the increases to do eyelets. So it's basically like a dishy, if you ever have knit the grandma's favorite dishy pattern, dishcloth pattern. But I don't like eyelets in my blankets. I don't like feeling a breeze through them. I don't like getting my fingers caught in them. I'm like a child getting my fingers caught in my blankets, but my toes will get caught up in them when I stretch out. So I chose to do a different increase. So the modification that I made for this pattern is instead of using the eyelets, I did a knit front back. So when I was increasing, and then when I was decreasing, I just did a knit two together. So she does have instructions on how to knit even. I found the instructions, it is a free pattern by the way, I found the instructions to be a little bit complicated. So for my knitting even, so that I could make it a rectangle instead of a square, I increased by knitting front back on one side, and then when I flipped the blanket and I worked back the other side, I did a decrease on the other side. So I just increased on one side, decreased on the other until I got to the length that I wanted, and then I decreased on both sides. So it was a very fast knit. It used up a lot of my yarn scraps, and I'm very happy with it. That being said, you can't see it, but I have 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 and some bits magic knot balls that are between 2 and 4 grams, 2 and 4 ounces each. So I plan to make another one of these, holding those strands double. So not holding it with a contrasting color, just letting it do whatever it wants with 2 scraps together. That being said, please, please, please tune in to my whips video tomorrow, because I have already started another one of these with a contrasting color, and I can't wait to talk about it and show you guys. So, okay, it is time to pick a project from the whip jar, and if you're new here, here's the rules. Whatever I pick, I have to knit. If I picked it before, I have to knit it or frog it. If I have not picked it before, I can put it back in the jar and pick something else. So here we go. Pretty much everything has been picked at least once. So, oops, dropped one. Edith's Secret. One of the bajillion really long shawls I have left in here. But honestly, there's not that many projects left in here. Let's see, we've got 1, 3, 4, 6. I think 6. So I was really hoping for the mittens. But alas, here we are. So let me go grab that project and I will show it to you guys. Very on-brand project bag for a very on-brand day. Anyway, so here it is. So this is Edith's Secret. And again, it's by Marinade Designs. It was a Downton Abbey mystery knit along back in 2015. I casted this on during the mystery knit along. So that is what it looks like. This is as far as I got on. That's it. Okay, so I had a bit of a mess to untangle, so it doesn't really paint the yarn in perfect light, but it is 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn. And this is the gray color is called Buckingham Fountain. The other color is the December 2014 mystery skein, and it is called Edith's Secret. So it matches, and they are both Lorna's laces. So probably January, well, in January, probably closer to February, this is the project I will start working. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and take it downstairs and put it down next to my chair in case I need something different to work on. That is it for today. If you're interested in seeing my day today, make sure you check out the end of this video for the vlogging content for the day, and I will see you soon. Bye! Hi guys, I hope you guys are really enjoying the videos so far. I just wanted to pop on for a minute to let you know that for the first couple days at least, the vlog is going to be separate from the conversational videos, only because my phone doesn't have enough space to continue to record, edit, and store the videos without actually uploading them. So for at least the next week, possibly all of Vlogmas, the vlogs will be a separate video. So just wanted to let you know, if you're waiting on a vlog to come out today, it'll probably be out either late tonight or tomorrow morning. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.